Good morning, everyone. It's Grace again. I introduce myself in every video, right? Because that's the right thing to do. I don't feel like it. I'm going to start with the joke that is not a joke. It's very true. So this is funny. I wrote it down. Trying to solve an organic problem with the willpower of positive thinking alone is like telling an amputee if they had positive thoughts, their limb would grow back. Yes. Thank you. All right. So I revisited some of my previous research so that I could talk about things. This is on therapy doesn't work. All right. And it's when therapy doesn't work, or your therapy didn't work, or kind of works, or whatever. Okay. So, therapy. Trauma therapy. Okay. There's different modalities, right? They have the grounding techniques and mindfulness, and then there's something called CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, or DBT, and I don't know the exact differences between all of them, and you feel free to look it up. If you go to the therapist, they're likely to implement whatever model they are trained in, and these models have been scientifically proven, right? And they do work. They're very successful. That's why they use them. Or they're the only thing they've come up with so far, and they're the only thing that they think works. So let's go ahead and pause right there, and then we're also going to pull in on religion. Yes. Okay. So praying, right? If you pray and if you believe hard enough, then God is going to heal you, or God is, going to fix the thing. And, because you still feel sad, or you're not doing great, or you haven't been healed, it means that you're doing something wrong. So there's sin in your life, or there's you're not praying hard enough. Right? Okay. So that was an interesting interjection, because we're mind, body, spirit, and whatever over here, right? Whole health. Cool. I did a little autistic thing. What was that? Right, that's autistic. It's annoying to you. Yeah. Okay. It's not anyway. So ADHD and autism. Yay, and PTSD. And anyways, the reason I'm happier today is because I haven't made videos. I got corona, and I was just out, wiped me out. I probably still sound a little stuffy, but I'm doing better now. And fortunately, my 7-year-old, he didn't get it. I tested him. He tested negative when he got a stuffy nose. We were worried about that, but so we had to quarantine and stuff. Boo boo badoo. All right, so trauma therapy, trauma brain, trauma affected brain, autism plus trauma, ADHD plus trauma, and CPTSD. Okay, you might just have PTSD, you might not have autism. I'm not your doctor, but I'm here to tell you everything I've learned as I can focus on it. So what I learned, I revisited my research because everyone, I'm pretty sure, is familiar with gaslighting and narcissists. Okay? Those are very familiar terms. You can Google that, watch thousands of videos about it. Gaslighting, narcissists, and it's very popular. So once you've experienced trauma, okay, it doesn't have to be narcissistic trauma. If you've experienced trauma, in my experience, okay, so I have told myself that I am wrong, or imagining things. And this has come from the way my parents treated me as a child, but also the way the world has treated me as an autistic. And hi, we're just gonna bring this in also. If you've been poor, if you have a criminal record, if you're fat or ugly, if you're black, maybe, or, any kind of marginalized demographic, society in general, right, has pushed you to the side. Okay, and I want to mention transgender people also. Society has kind of pushed you, so, well, kind of, sorry. More than kind of, don't mean to invalidate your problems. So we just, I say we because, it's Grace over here, and I say we a lot. It's the royal we. I don't have a partner in this except Jesus. So we is just Grace. Marginalized populations tend to have developed a sense of mistrust of the world, of people, of God, of their own judgments and instincts. Okay, it's not just people with autism. When you've been marginalized for whatever reason, so we can layman's terms this stuff. You're an outcast. The world has pushed you to the side for whatever reason. And you don't feel included in things, and probably because you weren't, and maybe for whatever reason. Okay, it doesn't matter how you got there. It matters to you and me, and I care. But what I'm saying is we are all equally in the same place, however we ended up here. There are many roads. What does it say? Many roads lead to Rome. And the reason I'm mentioning that, and the reason it doesn't matter why you got there, is because you're there. How to get out varies per individual. Sometimes you need a helping hand from other humans. Otherwise, maybe you've reached out, you've tried to get help from others, and it still just doesn't feel right. You feel stuck. You feel blamed. So I've learned that some of the therapeutic modalities, especially the I think it's CBT, but it's called thought reframing, and you have your thoughts, right? And you talk about your thoughts and your feelings, and then what they do is they try to get you to think about it in a different way, to challenge your thoughts and challenge your feelings. Now, for a lot of people that works. If you have a negative thought that says, oh, well, I'm stupid, and then you challenge that thought. No, I'm not stupid. I have some intelligence, or I'm not stupid. I just need to do some more research, or I'm not stupid. Everyone makes mistakes. Whatever way you challenge that thought. Okay. And that can work for a lot of people, but if it doesn't work for you, this is why we're talking. It doesn't work for you. It doesn't work for me. When you've spent your entire life being told that you're wrong, and that's why you're fucked up, you go into therapy expecting them to help you, and what do? Tell you that you're wrong. You need to change your thinking, or you need to... You're having terrible anxiety and panic attacks. Well, you just need to take some deep breaths, and you need to think about things in a different way, or you need to, whatever it is. And apparently that breaks down the therapy trust relationship or not. I mean, that's what the research that I went back on said. So I feel like I'm rambling a little. The focus I'm trying to make here is that using that kind of model, you're gaslighting yourself over and over and over. So you teach yourself, you've been taught your whole life and you're used to it. And so you teach yourself and you continue. And then the therapist comes along and they're reinforcing it. But to not trust your own judgment. Okay, let's go back to the amputee. Okay, telling an amputee if they had positive thoughts, their limb would reappear. Now, let's say you have PTSD and it's making you suicidal or depressed or both, or you're having autism and ADHD and you have so much anxiety that you can barely leave the house. Or let's just say you're just having a fucking rough time, and someone tells you you just need to get with God and pray about it. So when people minimize your struggles, that's not going to help at all. But when someone just sits there and validates you all day long, that's validating. So it can help you in the sense that you believe yourself finally. So validation's important, but it's also not enough, because I've been to therapists that just listen and validate and it feels good for a while, but then if they're not offering any help for you to make changes, then how are you supposed to move forward? Okay. So that's where I get at trying to solve an organic problem. Your problem is in your brain, not your mind, your soul, your heart. Okay, everything's connected, but we're talking neuroscience here. There's a lot of overlap between ADHD, PTSD, and autism. So the amygdala is what they call the reptile brain, and then you've got your frontal lobe, or the sorry, my nose is running still. The frontal lobe is the logic center, right? And then the amygdala is back there, and you have that's where your fight or flight stuff happens, and the whole thing's connected, right? But there's also triggers. So if you're familiar about triggers, so when you try to just use the logic to override the amygdala, for many people that's going to work, and you can do it sometimes, probably successfully. But also, when you just logically tell yourself that your recorded emotional response is incorrect, maybe you've been doing that your whole life. Like me. So I have recorded emotional responses to things. When someone is rude, or let's say they don't keep their word. That's one that particularly bothers me. Okay, so if someone tells me they're going to do something and then they don't, it hurts me a lot. It bothers me. So you can use your logic to go back and try to correct those emotions, like, well, I shouldn't feel hurt because I'm sure they have their own problems, or they, so it's a backwards working, right? And then the validation is like, it's okay to feel your feelings. Okay. But when your feelings overwhelm or the logic overwhelms, I don't think either of those are going to be helpful. So validating, but also using logic. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. Therapy has to be adapted to the brain style that you already have. So, anyways, I probably said some important things on this video. I'm just going to post it, and we'll try to revisit things later when I'm more focused. I guess I'm distracted today. Okay. Please comment and, send any questions, and maybe I'll try to start taking notes or something, or write a script so that I can stay focused. But, I'm not trained at this, and all I have is experiences that I draw upon, and you have experiences that you draw upon, and you draw your own conclusions. Trust your brain. Trust your brain. Yeah. Might be broken, but it's yours. Those are your sensory perceptions. If something smells bad to you and someone tells you it smells good, are you gonna change and tell yourself, I am wrong, this actually smells good? And tell yourself that enough times until you think it smells good? Or are you gonna go, I trust myself, this smells bad, that's what my brain is telling me? So anyway, we'll try to refocus and visit some other topics later. Peace.